Welcome to the Ambassadors on DAP Television. My name is Mike Adekunle. In the past episode of this program, the last one, of course, this today now is forming a kind of part 2 of what we have started discussing. And in the last episode, we were looking at the economic situation of Nigeria and the administrative structure as we have it in this current administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our president. And we said a lot into what government needs to do and what we also as individuals, as citizens, what we need to do. So I see here with me gentlemen who were talking in that episode. They are still here with me today to also, continue in the line of their thoughts that we've been looking at. But right now on this episode, we are going to be looking at another aspect of the economy, of course, very, very important. We are going to be looking at the financial corruption. Let me put it that way. Let me be specific, because when we talk about corruption is kind of an open sentence or a wide language. But let me narrow it down to the financial corruption. I have, of course, let me quickly introduce my guest right now, Pastor Victor Crown, a sanctuary minister and, of course, a social commentator. Thank you so much for your time and your conversation so far with us.
Thank you for having me once again.
Thank you.
It's a privilege to be here.
All right, and of course, Pastor Femi Ko, the National Coordinator of Redeemite in Politics, National Coordinator. National Coordinator, Redeemite in Politics.
Having me,
yeah.
And it's the Redeemite in Politics and Governance.
Yeah, Redeemite in Politics and Governance.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. All right, so Pastor Crown was mentioning earlier about the fact that Nigeria is poor, and he was able to analyze it to us that not really that we are poor in money, and you were kind of counter, having a counter opinion. That no, not that
he didn't counter it, but that we made Nigeria poor.
That we are not poor. We have money.
We made Nigeria poor.
But human beings, our individual Nigerians made
by
Nigeria
stealing
poor.
our public patrimony.
I think that's just the bottom line. Now, let's not look into that right now, because everybody have the feel that, Nigeria is not poor. We have the money. So let's get in there. Let's get the money. Let's get in there. Let's get the money. So let's look at this topic now, vis-a-vis or in a case study of the humanitarian ministry. So how would you start?
Yes, I'd like to say welcome to Robin Hood Part 1. I think we all watched the Robin Hood. All right, so, but this time around, it's not the Robin. It's now Robin,
The robbery.
Yes. So we call it Robin Hood, where people just see money, and just feel like, let's spend this money. I saw a very short video clip where it's so pathetic. Okay. The lady mistakenly did, in this age of social media. Okay. I think the Minister of Humanitarian and Poverty Alleviation gave them money for lunch. I think she gave them about £600. Okay, for lunch. So mistakenly, she wrote the name of the person.
Is this you are saying a skit or reality?
It's not this. I have the proof. Anyway, it's not a skit. So, so she gave them money, and she made a video recording to say, "Oh, our Excellency gave us this money." Okay. So, and £600 for lunch. And in that video, she was saying, "This is too much for a lunch. Oh. This is too much for a lunch." Oh. See. Until we begin to have the right mindset, we cannot set this nation right.
Right mindset.
We cannot set this nation right. It doesn't matter what the leader is.
Who should have this right mindset? The leadership or the followership? The citizen?
You are leading us to follow you. We will follow you to do what you are doing. You are leading us to follow you. We will do whatever you are doing. It is do as I do. Even children in secondary school, they want to make money. Yes. Do as I do is what is happening in Nigeria now. So children teenagers in secondary school, maybe GSS 1, GSS 2 or thereabout, they are talking about money. Unfortunately, I was walking behind a young boy, very tiny young boy. He was talking to his friend, said, "Do you know how much I have in my account? I did not just allow anybody to know." I was looking at that one. I have money. He said, I did this, I did that. Wow. Telling you. So these tiny little children
did that probably might be internet fraud.
Yes, it's fraud, of course. So I did this, I did that. Now, the mindset they paint for us is that there is a national cake that everyone just have to eat, or some people have worked somewhere, somebody just have to come around and take the money and spend it anyhow, the way you want to. Now, this is the generation where somebody gets money or buy a particular car, and nobody is probing it, because corruption is everywhere. So for somebody that will clean this polity, that person will have a great work to do, because corruption is everywhere. Nook and cranny, market, church, on the street, in your house, in your neighborhood. Corruption is there. Everywhere. So before we begin to crucify government, though it started from them anyway, because they led us into this. I don't want to say, let's say from the civilian era to military era, the military era that a lot of people got to know, from Babangida to Abacha. They are still, the Abacha's loot, they are still recovering. Now, how will you hear that one man has money in several countries of the world, and they are still retrieving his money, that a nation is still spending the money, and you have that kind of mindset, oh, somebody can do this, then I can do that. And the money they have been retrieving from other countries, what have they been doing with it? So the civilian will receive the money and spend, and there will be no account for it. And now, the CBN governor, the one that is still going through a probe now, he has not been found guilty.
The former
CBN governor, Emefiele, Governor Godwin Emefiele. Now, he has not been proven to be guilty, but based on the record we have and the things you have been seeing, he was in that power and he did like God. Let me use the word, did like God. Okay. And there was a sitting president. So corruption everywhere. So we have built that mindset of corruption. And until we flush it out of us, this robbery, it will only take God to save us.
Well, your comment as concerning the former governor of CBN, Emefiele, that's your opinion.
It's my opinion. I said he has not been found guilty.
Behaving as, because until proven guilty by the competent courts of law. So, all right. So how would you...
I said, no structure, no future. What is the structure of Nigeria judiciary system?
That's another big one.
If you are going to fight corruption,
you've mentioned.
You don't fight corruption with prayer. Because we represent faith-based organization. We are Christian. You know, the scripture says in the 2 Peter 1:3, according to divine power, are given unto all things that pertain to life and godliness. Now, if you are not satisfied with all things and life and God that God has given to you, when it seems that God is not helping you, things are not working as desired, you want to help yourself. So let your light so shine that men see your good work and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Your good works. And Jesus showed good works. He went about doing good. So if I'm a true Christian, I found us first in any place I found myself in the marketplace, in the corridor of power, in any field of influence, as to show good works. Corruption is not good works. In fact, that scripture said, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. He said, we have escaped the corruption that is in the world. So as Christians, we should live by example. Let the other people see us and say, this guy is different. I remember they said in those days, when Nigeria was better than this, if you are a Deeper Life member and you are seeking an employment, the moment they know you are a Deeper Life member, you identify yourself as a Deeper Life member, you secure the job.
Even those days, organizations come to church.
Yes.
They approach pastors. We have vacancies in our organization. Can you help us out get people?
Yes.
But these days, can any organization try that?
You know the Bible also says when the number of disciples were growing and there were crises between the leaders and the people, and they said we have to look for men of good report.
Yes.
Men of wisdom. We put them in this position just to serve table.
Yes.
They have to be men that have some quality. Honest men that filled with the Holy Ghost, men of faith. You see the criteria, just to serve table, to do benevolence work, not to even be a pastor now. These are the criteria. So if Deeper Life member apply for a job and he or she got the job because he's a Christian. Can the same thing be said today? The moment that's why you know you are a Christian, that's the reason why they won't give you that job. That's why you look on that contract, because they have been disappointed by a Christian. So if we are going to set this country path right, we Christian must lead by example and show light to the world. So we are the light of the world. You understand? Yes. So I make reference to Administration of Criminal Justice Act, or whatever they call it in the judicial system. They make fighting corruption difficult. That's why I talk about structure. Yeah. No structure, no future. This will affect every spectrum, every sphere of our nation.
Of governments, yes.
If our judicial system is up there, effective, that somebody is caught, you don't make it difficult to prosecute that person. You make investigation and prosecution easy.
But you don't blame the judiciary, the judges. You don't blame them, because they judge by what is placed before them. If a lawyer or a police officer,
I understand.
It's not able to prove.
In France, you are guilty as charged. Nigeria, you are guilty as proven.
As proven.
Nigeria law says you have to prove this person guilty. That's what the law says.
Yes.
So you have to spend the money, get the lawyer to prove it, and he has the money to spend. You also get a lawyer.
Yes.
So he can actually win that case against you.
Yes.
But if we really want to change this country, we have to change something. Change our laws, our constitution, that says somebody must be proven guilty. Rather, let the person alleged to have stolen our public fund be the one to prove himself not guilty. Not that government proving them guilty. Because government will have to be also spending the government money to prove the person guilty. So, to be honest with ourselves, corruption in Nigeria, one way to help the government is the church Christian don't be part of this. The moment we started having Christian...
But it's a pity now, sir. Governments now, Christians now, because, oh God, we always clamor. He is in charge of redeemers in politics and governance. We have Christians, we have redeemed members. He is focusing on redeemed members. You can mention how many of them you have in governments, who are redeemed members, who are Christians. What are their conducts? What are their behaviors? Are we not having Christians in government? How many of them are not putting their hands in all these things we are talking about? I asked my question and I said, visa fees, the humanitarian ministry, the minister that just been, apprehended in a way or accused in a way, you shouldn't see a Christian.
That is under investigation.
She's still under investigation.
Well, I need to say,
but then I want us to be a little direct. So, what do you have to say as concerning that? What she did, was it in the purview of her, of her duty to have transferred public funds into private accounts?
She has not transferred the money.
Well, let me
okay,
say,
the money has not been transferred.
Let me say this.
Okay.
Based on the fact we have,
okay,
they moved the money into our office. Oh, before I address that, please, he mentioned system, how to fight corruption in Nigeria. It's only that we don't want to fight corruption. We are intentional about not fighting corruption. We are intentional. Okay. We know what we are doing.
It's a deliberate act.
It's a deliberate act. Because how can I move money from account A and move it to account B? And it will not be hard or difficult to trace.
Don't the present issue on ground now. We cannot say that.
No, I'm not saying
corruption because government is doing the right thing.
No, I'm not saying about. I'm talking about system. I'm talking about system. I'm making it a kind of before I will now come back to that. It's just like a funnel. Okay. The judicial system, he mentioned judicial system. So that's where I want to bring it from. Then I will now address the humanitarian. Now, the judicial system, they know that if I transfer money from account A to account B, it is traceable. Okay, it is traceable. Now, if I do this and it lands here, but they still want you to come and argue that how did they move from that process to this process? They know what they are doing.
They still want you
so
to
they want
argue
highest bidder. And a little wonder you say, so this person has stolen 5 billion naira. You will say the person go and bring like a 3 billion naira for bail. He has stolen 5 billion. You will say the person go and bring 3 billion for bail. That 3 billion naira is for what? For pen and for paper that we are using our own tax money to buy, or for what? Or for your sitting. We pay your money through our tax. So what do you want to do with the 3 billion naira? Somebody has stolen 5 billion. That's how the case will die.
You even look at the punishment. Is the punishment
So,
commensurate
yes,
to the offense?
So we are intentional about not fighting
Somebody
corruption.
will steal a goat.
Eh.
You will say he should go to prison for 6 years.
For 6 years. But
Somebody who
will
has
steal
stolen billions of naira.
Yes.
We just bring a shorty and
That's
this
all.
and that.
That's all. So now, let's say somebody has stolen.
Somebody that stole a goat may not be able to. What Jesus did. In Matthew 26, when Peter cut off the hair of the servant of the high priest, Jesus did what? He took the hair and placed it back. He dealt with evidence. Jesus dealt with evidence. So a poor guy that stole a goat may not be able to deal with the evidence. But politician that has the money can deal with evidence.
You can see now.
It's only when you have evidence. You know, it's a popular saying in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Go to court.
Go to court.
Go to court.
You will explain tire.
Somebody
no
said it
evidence.
today. Somebody said it today. when now I want to digress a bit.
Okay.
Babatunde Erukewe was removed from office.
Yes.
It did not follow due process.
The removal did not follow due process.
Due process. It did not follow the process.
Is there any due process in a government or a president making pronouncements?
Through the Senate. It was supposed to go through the Senate.
Okay.
So it was just removed. In fact, they even said they was sacked. It was not that it was sacked or something. So the statement government, the federal government used wasn't right. So Falana was trying to address it. Somebody said you should go to court if he's not satisfied. He said, what you did. In fact, the presidency also retrieved what they said, and they have to recompose, the statement. Okay. But someone said they should go to court. So it has become a norm here, go to court. Because when you get to court, you waste your time and waste your money. What the court will be asking you for is to go and bring money. And if you don't have the money to service the charge, that's how the case will die. So we are intentional about not fighting corruption. And one thing that has been bringing us our knee is corruption. Okay, now let's now come to humanitarian. Somebody moved 44 billion naira, was moving from this account to another account to the third account, and they were tracing. And that person tried to move 585 million to a project account. That is a grant for
personal project account.
Yes, which has a project accountant. Okay. Now, the minister informed or directs the finance ministry to release an accountant general to release the fund to that private account. Now, Ministry of Accountant General, they advise them on what to do.
Okay.
They advise them on what to do. So they move the money to that person's account. The humanitarian minister, when she saw that a certain amount of money is being moved, so she has to invite EFCC to see what is happening, call for their attention. They arrested the coordinator of NSIPA.
Yes.
Okay. Now, once that one happened, she mentioned the name of the minister.
So it was a case of open my hands.
Yes, I open your. So now the attention is no more on the 44 billion naira now. The attention is now on the 585 million. Now, the attention will be on the 585 million because people trusted that person. And in our own environment, when another person from another religion makes mistake, people can overlook. But once it is a Christian, somebody who is like Christ,
who is expected
who is behaving like Christ, that's why you're a Christian. You are behaving like Christ. If Christ is the one in that office, will Christ have done something like that?
Sorry, can I come here?
Yes.
It's not in all cases. I can tell you the northern Nigeria, the northern Nigerian, they are more moral than us.
Okay.
Oh, really?
We have seen a number of times where they saw money in a keke napep. Maybe somebody left the money there or in the hotel. You have seen most of the time, highest number of people from the north return the money, take the money to government or to police station. But in the southern Nigeria,
have you lived in the north before?
No, I've been to North, but I live in Abuja.
Okay.
In the southern Nigeria, it has happened too. You have people that do that here. Yeah. But more number of of such kind of Samaritan, can I call it Samaritan now? We only have more of the such number coming from the north. Even if you look at some of the governors in the north and the governor from the south, we have better governors in the north than the south. The only challenge they have is that they don't have enough resources like we have in the south. When the governor of Borno State was paying minimum wage, it was only Lagos State government in the south that was paying minimum wage. The former minimum wage, before this one they are planning now.
Yes.
So you look at the behavioral pattern towards humanitarian, because of the nature, because you have this rank-and-file nature. One man is very rich, every other person will come around him, he will help them. You understand? So for me, I think even the Christians in the north, they are better Christians than the Christians in the south. You have to develop some level of spiritual stature.
I live in the north.
From spiritual, sir,
Are you in support of
Pastor?
No.
Pastor,
I live in
you have to develop some level of spiritual stature to be a true Christian in the north. You may disagree to that.
No, I agree to that.
Because the kind
When
of
it is spirituality,
the kind
I
of
agree.
persecution
Spirituality, I
we
agree.
face in the south is not the same in the north.
I agree.
You understand what I'm saying? But the number of people that return money they fund is high. Maybe you can Google it, you check the number. We have highest number in the north. And most times you see even people from the south be saying you will be poor forever, because why do you have to return that money? We have few cases that happen in this part of the country.
Yes.
But more of the time, I've seen cases where northerners, poor northerners, even keke napep rider, return money fund. You understand? So on the issue of what's that name?
Humanitarian,
The minister.
With the minister,
Yes.
you said something earlier that somebody is naive. If the accountant general
Could it be the case of naivety rather,
Well, we
on
actually
her
wanted
part?
to we actually wanted to submit was that if any other person, I'm not trying to be tribal here or tribalistic.
Yeah.
I'm talking about being like Christ. That's where I want to narrow it to. Okay. Now we expect that someone who is a Christian, who is Christ-like,
Should know
know
better,
better,
do better.
and follow the rules.
It's a fact.
That is where I want
They
to
even
narrow
tell
it
you,
down.
are you not a pastor?
And that's why I
They will
want
ask
to narrow
you.
it down
Why
to.
are you talking like
Now
this?
she's a Christian.
Yeah.
There is a rule for public procurement.
Highest expectation of
yes. So there is a rule, and you know this rule.
Don't you think probably she might be following the status quo in that office?
Must she follow it? There is a rule. Once you get to office as a leader or anyone coming to an office newly, the first thing you need to check is the guideline. What has been the ethos of this place?
And
now,
not what is the culture here?
Yeah,
what is
does
the culture of operation here?
What does the rule say? Hey, if you are looking at culture, I work in North for a while, and I know the culture of working there. I work in a particular office in the North, I mean Abuja. I work in Abuja. Somebody came to me and offered me that I should sign a check in Abuja, that I should, sorry, not check, a receipt for a house. The house will cost 20 million naira. And he said they will give me 10% of that if I will sign it. So there is a culture there. So if you want to look at the culture,
every government
there. All this you are
every
saying,
government
it's
office.
not only limited to
so what I'm
a
saying
certain
is,
region or
Even
part.
private sector.
Even private
so
sector.
what I'm saying here is, if we are looking at the culture that is operational there, we might forget our Christian culture. So anywhere we go, we must go there with our Christian culture.
That was the beginning of this conversation.
Yes.
Our value system.
So I take it
Our
there.
value system.
So we shouldn't be talking that it's our sister that will be in this kind of mess. And I look at the two people that are in this kind of mess. They are Christians.
Okay.
One has been found.
Is Halima a Christian?
No. The other interior. What's it called? He's a Christian, but he has not been. His own is still in the pipeline. Okay. But the first one that is in the pipeline, that is being
There's
accused.
a hot right now.
Yes,
front burner.
she's one of us, and she testified recently. So that is where the problem lies.
challenge, you see.
Okay, now the case now is the case. We are talking like this because we are Christian-based organization, and we speak like we speak to Christians. Because of course, those who are watching us right now, we cannot guarantee that all of them are Christians. We have those who are not Christians watching us right now. But then, the issue shouldn't be about whether you are a Christian or not, though to a large extent it could matter. But I would like us to speak to the issue of value system.
Wow.
And that I want us to address after this break. We are due for a break right now. So viewers, we shall be back after this short timeout. Please stay tuned with us. Watch The Ambassadors on Dove Television as we take you through the rudiments and fundamentals of politics and good governance and how you can be involved. The Ambassadors is showing every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Nigerian time. Welcome back. We are still on the program, The Ambassadors, looking at the issue of corruption, financial corruption majorly in Nigeria, because we have found out that the issue of corruption had been the major cankerworm, a strong cankerworm, a strong one at that, that is really biting hard on the fabrics of our nation, that is bringing our nation down to her knees. And we are hoping and praying that one day this will be a thing of the past. And wonderful guests I have with me in the studio have been, talking on the issue of structure. If there's no structure in place, if there's no system in place to deliberately and intentionally fight corruption, we might not be able to come out of it. But we pray that God will help us with it and help our leaders to put a structure in place that will definitely deal with corruption. But then we are now looking at the issue of value system. So I'd like you to talk in this regard. Let's address it. This value system, who should lead the front? The leadership? The followership?
A value system is a principle that dear to you.
Okay.
That it is not a particular mode. People have different value system. And
I think it ranges from home to homes.
yes, I'm going there.
Family to family.
And your value system is informed based on the knowledge available to your disposal per time. And you are exposed to, as Christian, there are things we are exposed to. And we become who we are because of what the Word of God has done in us. He made us a certain individual.
Yeah.
The disciple of Jesus were not who they later became.
Okay.
They had an encounter with Jesus, and that encounter never left them the same. Because when you met him, when you meet him, he's going to deliver you from something and deliver something to you. So if you are coming to the kingdom as a Christian, and you say you have been delivered from sin, and we have not seen the thing that God has delivered to you, it means you have not subjected yourself to learning and to grow in the things of God. For instance, we are talking about value system. We can talk about it till tomorrow.
Okay.
If, as individual, we don't lead by example. I have children, and I don't show them the exemplary leadership. This is how to live. They are going to learn from me.
Of course. And it even starts from the very minute
Yes.
of the fact that you as a husband, how faithful are you to the wife, to the mother?
Yes.
They are watching. Those children are watching.
They watch your words, your action, your behavior. Bible says, train up a child the way he should go. It didn't say tell or teach. Training requires practical,
A
effort.
hands-on process.
Somebody seeing you doing it, and they are learning with you. I remember in those days, I used to have, I live in Alagbole in those days, 2004. So in my living room, I didn't have set in my living room. So I played football in my living room with my son. Sometimes we just played football in my living room. Then before I knew the boy started referring to me as JJ Okocha. Daddy, you are JJ Okocha. And he's Obafemi Martins.
Okay.
I'm older than him. So he was able to know that JJ Okocha is older than Obafemi Martins. The day he followed me to preach, I went to preach somewhere at Iba, one Redeemed Church, and my son followed me there. When we got back home, my son said, Daddy, you are Pastor E. Adeboye. He is Pastor Chris Oyakilobe. So you can see their mind. Their mind is open to receive. Our lifestyle they will quickly grasp all that they are saying.
Yes.
And they live by it. So if you are a parent, your son wants to write a WAEC, and you have to go and put your son or your daughter in a special center, and you pay extra for him to be able to write, because nobody did all of that for us. We went to school without anybody pay any money to go to special center. We had to read with candle and all, Sometimes there's no light. You have to stay and study. So if your son knew that there's a special center, some cannot afford that, you have to pay, you're already teaching that boy wrong value system. I was to renew my passport 2017, and I went to Ikoyi. They were demanding for, after I did the capture, I submitted the long group. So one of the immigration officers gave me his phone number. I collected it, and I thought I would just to need that to follow up. When I called him, he said, I said, how far now? But when is it going to come? He said, I gave you phone number to you to do the right thing. So I said, what's the right thing? He said, you should know what to do now.
Do the right thing.
That you have to pay for production. I said, production? He said, yes. So you know what I did? My son was there. I told my son, I said, this is the situation at the immigration. And I'm telling you this, so when you grow up, you won't do what they are doing. So I said, I'm not going to pay a dime. So I went online, I searched immigration headquarters in Abuja. Fortunately, I got the number, and I called the number. And the person, I said, some of your officer asking for money. And the officer said I should go back and ask for the office of the Assistant Controller of Immigration.
Okay.
So I got there. He said, if they are not attending, I should go to Servicom.
Okay.
In that same premises. So I got there. So I went to the office. I looked for that office. Fortunately, I was able to get to the office. So the Assistant Controller of Immigration was not available. So I met his secretary. So I told him this decision that I'm going to call Abuja now. How many people can call Abuja? How many people have this idea of say, let me go online and get the number? I was fortunate to just get that number to call.
Yes.
What if it's the shop by when nobody picked the call?
Yes.
I was fortunate. So how many Nigerians can call Abuja?
Yes.
I didn't know anybody in that office in Abuja that I called. So I was about to make that call. The secretary, he said, please don't make that call. Don't make that call. Don't call Abuja, please. What's the name of the officer? I mentioned the name. And he called somebody, and they went to that long production hall. I don't know what they call immigration, and they brought my passport.
Okay.
And it took me to Servicom. Inside the Ikoyi there. And in 5 days, if I remember, my passport came out without paying anybody. So I show my son a value.
Yeah.
A way to live. Don't live like every other person. The Bible talks about Israel. When they left Egypt, they came with strange language. When we come to this kingdom of God, we come with the way we are living in Nigeria.
Yes.
So when we become a Christian, we shouldn't live the way people are living in Nigeria. We should set a standard. This is how we should live in Nigeria. You understand what I'm saying, sir? So the point is this. If we are going to get this right, our choices determine our value. And our choices are determined by our information available to us. So there's need for a process of reorientation.
Yeah.
I think that's what the Bible calls renewal of our mind.
Yes,
it's not enough for someone to be born again. It is your spirit that is born again. Your mind remains the same. You still have the same mind.
Yeah.
So when you subject your mind to God's word, you see where...
The process of renewal of the mind.
In fact, do you know the Bible says that if you are going to give loan, it's in Old Testament, if you are going to give a loan to the poor person, don't put interest.
Yeah.
So as a Christian, when I'm going to lend somebody to somebody, and the person is asked to put in, I will pay some interest on it. And my son is there. I said, oh, this is what the Bible says. I said, if a poor person. But if it's someone that is doing well, we just needed just cash, that period. And he's going to invest into something. The Bible is not against that. But then a poor person, you have to give a loan to a poor person. The Bible said, do not impoverish the person the more. So now if I can just live like that, and my son sees that somebody came to me to borrow money, and I didn't put interest, you are teaching him value system. You are teaching value system. Yeah. So from there,
and I think every home should by the help of God, by God's grace, I also deal in the area of parenting a lot. That is my major. So God gave me a concept of parenting with value. In those days, as you people can mention, in those days, our parents, there is a certain value or the other they stand for. You have been portraying to your son. My father taught us and groomed us with the value of nobody steals. You dare not. You dare not steal. And we watch our dad. If you give money to my dad to keep, and you fold the notes, you are going to collect your money back the way you have folded it. He will not borrow out of it. He will not take out of it. The way you gave it to him, come back a year after, he will deliver it to you the same way. He was doing those things, we were seeing it. He was showing us. That's a value. But these days, what do we show to our parents, to our children rather?
Yes,
but
I like to pick what we show to our children from the second stanza of the national anthem.
Okay, okay.
Guide our leaders right. Help
Help
our youth the truth to know. When our leaders are without guidance, our youth have no truth to know. We live in falsehood. And that's just the truth.
Yeah.
And that is why it pains me that we only recite the first anthem of the national, the first stanza of the national anthem. We forgot, or we have forgotten.
We are kind of living now the second
and that is where that word is. Guide our leaders right. If our leaders are without guidance, there will be a problem. So our leaders are living without.
These leaders does not exclude parents as leaders.
No.
Leading from home.
All leaders. Because in a home where you are being cultured, wherever you go, they see culture. While I was raising my beautiful princesses, I told them, when you see an elderly person, you kneel down. It's a culture. I'm not a lady.
That culture now you just mentioned, for instance, now,
yes.
it's eroding. It's eroding.
So I'm not a lady.
I met a friend who was telling me, why will you ask your son to be prostrating?
Yes. So
ordinary handshake is okay. In schools right now,
yes.
They don't even allow them to prostrate.
No, they don't.
They do like this.
Yeah, that is their own. That's about my own. I'm a Yoruba person, and I will not erode my culture. So I told them, when you are greeting an elderly person, you kneel. You kneel. All right. So that stays with them. And they know what they have benefited from kneeling. Other children might say elderly people are not greet them. But this little one, we see them, greet them, and kneel. It's a culture. So guide our leaders right. Our youth will naturally know the truth. Because we learn by observation. From what he has said the other time. He said, train up a child the way he will go. If my life is a lesson to my children, naturally, they want to be like me. And that is why our younger people want to be like our leaders, political leaders. They want to be, some of them want to be like their parents. Like he said, his son said, you are J.J. Okocha, I am Obafe. Can you see now? There is a bond, there is a fellowship. If we see the young people misbehaving in the society, we should hold our leaders responsible.
Absolutely.
Now, there was a time they said they have an association, a very poor association of Yahoo Mothers Association, Yahoo Mothers
Association of Nigeria.
Yes, can you see that? Wow. The Yorubas is saying that your son is not a cleaner.
It's not a dry cleaner.
It's not a dry cleaner.
And he brings clothing home every day. And nobody is
asking questions. Can you see that now? So we should hold our leaders responsible. If we see that our younger people are living a wayward life, we should hold our leaders responsible. That is number one. Now let's now come back to, he made some, I don't want to preach because as he was saying, I feel like I want to engage my preaching, but I notice it's politics anyway. So now let me limit it to politics. The truth is, the system can change if we begin to talk to ourselves. But the problem is, from the school, the teachers believe that anyone who brings money will pass. In the church, people believe, the leaders believe anyone who brings money.
Some pastors believe, those of you bringing in tithes, you are meant to be prayed for. Special
you are the
prayer.
member. You can see, I'm bringing it from school to church. Now, at home, there is a common saying while I was growing up that it is only a child who brings money home that parents will praise. Can you see the trend now? From home to school, then to church. The church where we are to reshape, to make the mind of Christ be in them. We are now looking at money. We are now focusing on money. So when people see that they honor people who have money, they do everything within their power to make that money.
Everybody wants to be honored.
So the value system, from home, eroding. From school, eroding. Now from church.
These are politicians who are Christians. Are they not bringing money to church?
Yes, they believe that now. That now leads to the Christians selling Christians to politicians. Because they believe that if our focus is money, they say, let us go and meet them. When you give them this, they will support us. So they make us gullible. I do politics anyway. So I have seen the pattern. The way they make people suffer. because we have shifted our attention. We have shifted the major and majoring in the minor. All right. So we have eroded in our value system. It is hard that people will see money and say, I don't want your money. I was told a story that somebody took money to bishop and said, we are from which ministry? You are from this ministry. I don't want to mention ministry now. They say, you are from this ministry. Say, go and give that money to your leader. He needs money to complete this project. The money we need to complete our own project is already settled. That's value system.
A former governor brought money to Bishop Adekunle.
Okay.
I think 44 million, if I remember. Bishop Adekunle said, I can hear the cry of Bayelsan workers.
You have mentioned state too.
Please, take the money back and pay your workers. I think the following week, the man was arrested by EFCC.
Value system.
Wow.
You know, so if you are going to come out of the quagmire, it's going to be from the family. What kind of children are we raising?
Yeah.
Family is a small unit of every society.
Yes.
Whatever a man sees constantly and continuously, you form an habit.
But is there any attention? Because God helping us, as Christians, God gave me some ideas of formulating some certain things, even making some presentations to governments. Like I said about parenting, because so many of our issues as a nation can be tackled from home, but our governments paying attention to homes, what attention
should have been tackled from home.
How can they come in?
Because when you say can, that statement is when things are working normal way.
In a normal setting.
Normal setting.
Yes.
So should have been tackled from home. The Nigeria president is from a mother. Okay, maybe she was raised by a foster mother. Nigeria Senate president is from a woman and a man. How do you raise him? You understand? So family is fundamental.
Very important.
It
And
is,
because of that, from that formative stage, they are seeing us, the way we, our lifestyle. And that become a breeding ground.
Yes, now, and even these days now that people are now glorying in single parenting.
Yes.
Single mothers everywhere.
So do you
single
know,
fathers
I did a post.
Though I'm not castigating anybody.
Yeah, we are not castigating.
Anything can lead to somebody becoming a single parent.
Do you know that women did not have that right and privilege to divorce a man in the Bible? The right was not there.
But this day, a woman can push it a man.
Most of the divorces we have today are initiated by women.
By women.
Now, I keep asking this question. Our fathers and our grandfather do have 6 wives, 7 wives, 8 wives. And women of those days still stay in those marriages. Between them and us, that you have 1 wife, which generation is supposed to enjoy marriage more?
Should be
you are not sharing your heart with another woman? Which generation should enjoy marriage more? And these are the questions.
I like to say this, please, before we really now go to marriage and...
we are not going to marriage. Actually.
Yes,
just a digression.
so let me just say that. We are talking about value system. We will still address that issue if time permits. Yeah. On the part of the parents, I think we have mentioned a lot. Let us begin to reorientate our children and speak well of government. Now, let's speak to government. Now, government should not make the children hate them. If I have worked for government for 35 years and I'm to collect my gratuity and pension, and you suffer my parents, I will not like such government.
Poor rewarding system.
I would not like such.
Poor rewarding
system.
That's
another system.
These are factors that can easily erode.
I'm serious. So we should look at that.
Or value system.
Yes, government should not hate and
let's give it to this government.
Okay.
They just approve.
Okay, this current one.
Yes.
Yes.
Even Buhari government has some very sterling rewarding system.
Sir, we are going to federal. I'm trying. We have addressed in our first part. Yeah. We addressed federal government.
Level,
Now we are coming home to states. State is so close. States and the local government. They are closer to us.
Do we even still have local governments?
They should not suffer these people who have worked for them. They have children. Some of them collect, they put their, I don't want to mention this state. There's a particular state where people put their money in cooperative. And the particular...
Under government.
Under government. And some of them will put 90% of their money in the cooperative. Some of them will put 50%, 40%, 70% in the cooperative. And a governor came and squandered their money. Wow. Without remorse. Wow. Some of these people died without getting their money. When they retired, they could not get their money.
Is it state or federal?
I don't, state. I'm not saying federal. State. I don't want to mention the state, but if I am permitted to mention state, I will mention. I mention the name.
Let's continue.
Okay, now. So, some people died. Now, another governor came to that state. People believe that this is hope for them. Or this is renewed hope, Abi. Yeah. But before renewed hope, there was hope anyway. So, they believe that this is hope for them. And that one did 1 year, 2 years. By the third year, he started inflicting pain on the people again. The same people. This is not fair. When people work for you, pay their salary, they will be able to train their children value. But the moment they begin to report to their children, the children will lose interest in you.
They will not even have confidence.
Yes, in government. And they will have, they become social miscreants. They have deviant behaviors. Government should also help us in training young ones. Pay people who have worked for you. Now, that is one. It is not out of point that there are people who are working for government 9 to 5. If you see people who are skillful among them, you can set them up like empowerment. Okay. So that they have a side hustle. Because what they are getting from government is not enough to run any home here in Nigeria. I must tell you. Because we are talking about how to get out of this difficulty and challenges.
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
we are also looking
at
adapting mechanism to this system of economy.
Now, as we talk about the people, let's all talk about government. Government should help people. Give them, if there is a small farm, in fact, there are so many programs they brought out. I applied for a lot of them, but we'll go for training. The end will just be training. You write proposal, they will use your name to get grants. They use your name to get money. You will not be part of the money. We are talented in this nation. That was why he paid me when the former president said we have lazy youth in Nigeria.
No, he said.
Yes.
Some
Nigerian youths are lazy. Yes, some Nigerian youths. Now, we are not really, some of them are lazy. But some of us will now go for this program, government program. You will go for the training 2 weeks. Using your own money and thereabout, go through the page, you write proposal, they say, yeah, it's fine. They collect your proposal, and that's going to be the end. You write a feasibility study, write business plan, that's going to be the end. So they collect your names and get whatever they want to get. They should stop all this. Let's build a new value system. If we celebrate Singapore today, they did not just get there. They went through a process.
It took them a process.
Yes, they went through. And, something is happening in UK now, and that's why I like that system. Maybe you have heard about the post office scam or something like that. You have heard about something. Yes. They nip it straight. Nobody's going to cover anything. They nip it straight. Now, if we can have that value system from government too, it will help our young ones to have a good mindset.
And the system is very simple. Have a punishment, a system that punishes offense. And a system that rewards good deeds. I think it's very simple.
So it's going to help us. Yeah. Now, if the current administration, because I said, in my current interview, I said I did not envy this current administration. When they came on board, I said it. I think I said that twice here. I said I did not envy them. Why? Because that man came on board to meet a backlog of problem. He came on board to meet that. So now that it's working, let's see, it's not up to 1 year in office. Okay. Maybe by 1 year, we'll have seen some blueprints, we'll have seen a lot of things that he's doing. But with him cutting costs and doing all this, I know he meant well. Now, the state governors should replicate this. They get security votes. What are they doing with the money? They get federal allowances, federal allocations. What are they doing with this money? We have land mass to plan. When you are traveling on the express road, they have some reserve land.
The allocation to local government, is it still going directly to local government or through states?
Before we go to that allocation to local government, he that failed to plan
Has planned to fail.
has planned to fail. Time waits for no man.
Okay.
I remember when OBJ handed over to Yadua, our foreign reserve was $41.3 billion,
Okay.
the highest ever in 2007.
Yes.
And Yadua took that foreign reserve to 67 point something billion dollars within the space of less than 2 years.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Because we had this oil boom at that time, and being a prudent man, because of the global meltdown in 2008, it took $19 billion to support Nigeria economy. We didn't feel the meltdown.
Yeah.
It affected Ghana. It didn't have effect on Nigeria because we had enough money in our foreign reserve to cushion the effect. So at the time Yadua died, that Jonathan took over the reign of government, our foreign reserve was $47.6 billion.
Okay.
So we should not quickly forget some of these things because leadership is challenging. So until we find ourselves there, we can apportion blame to people. If we have continued in that
Progressive
pattern, OBJ increased it, Yadua took it there. Jonathan depleted our foreign reserve to $28 billion from 47. Now, you don't complain just to complain. You make this statement as a statement of facts. People can understand what really happened.
Yeah.
So a leader will not, our president is not complaining. He say, I actually campaigned for this job. I actually put in for this job. So I'm not here to complain.
And he said he's aware of
You understand?
the enormity.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the foreign reserve, the proper president to try to improve the foreign reserve because your foreign reserve is very important. Foreign investors want to see it. Before I can bring my money to your country. If there's going to be economic crisis, will your foreign reserve be able to sustain the economy? So they need that to see before they can bring their investment.
Okay, because of our time, we need to start winding down now on the program. So I'd like you to throw in your concluding part, and that will speak to what should our people be doing now in a way of helping them out of this economic crisis. It's biting hard on homes, individuals, families. So just in about 1 minute.
I want to conclude by saying that we should be positive.
Okay.
Should having a positive outlook on life. And as Christians, we should have this belief that as government is taking right decision, right step, right policy to steer the ship of the country and move the country forward, we should have this positive mindset that the country is going to be better. Like I said earlier, some of the things that I've seen, the refinery coming up, the Nago refinery can function maximally, is going to help the nation from importing petroleum, gas, airline fuel, and all of that. And that would help the country from depending on dollar. Because Nigeria is a dollar-driven economy. So the moment that is out of the way, and even dollar exchange rate, the dollar will crash. It will be a natural phenomenon. The dollar will crash.
Thank you so much, Pastor Victor Crown, for your time and your thoughts with us. All right, let me come to you as we conclude.
I'm going to make it as practical as possible. Number one, whatever office you find yourself, don't inflict pain on people. If you're a POS operator, please be considerate. Don't inflict pain on people.
Now we use money to buy money.
Yes,
we use naira to buy naira.
If you are a bank officers or thereabout, don't inflict pain on people. That's number one. And to others, if you have a small garden, make sure you plant something. It can sustain you in the nearest future.
Plant something. Thank you so much, Pastor Femi Ko, the National Coordinator, Redeemites in Politics and Governance. God bless you. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time with us. We really appreciate you. And you viewers, we appreciate you for your time with us also. God bless you. Be positive, be hopeful, and expect the best. It shall be well with Nigeria. And God bless Nigeria in Jesus' name. I'm Mike Adekunle. Bye-bye for now.